Good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I am coming live on the road, so this one is going to be a little shorter than normal.
Quarter mile, use the right two lanes to take exit 4A toward Delaware 1 South.
Of course, the GPS is still going to talk. Giving out a guy who's had in my life, to the late mother and the late Bishop Goins. My siblings just sent a picture from the gravesite. My older sister Carol hadn't had a chance to go out and visit the gravesite, so they were just there. We're all getting together this afternoon for a dinner in celebration of Bishop's 80th heavenly birthday. He passed at 79. Mother Rosa passed at 80. And they're buried together at the National Cemetery. And that's where they just left. But today I just want to speak briefly on Matthew's 7th chapter, starting at the 15th verse, where it says, "You will know them by their fruit." I thought about this scripture. I was watching a show, The Black Mirror, and they did an episode where a little girl got lost. I think she was like 3 or 4 years old, while she was in the park with her mother. And to combat that ever, she was found, but to combat that ever happened again, there was a service where you chip the child. Not only did the chip track their GPS, but it also lets you track their vitals, even see what the child was seeing and hearing. And it also reminded me of a movie that I watched years ago with Robin Williams called The Final Cut, which I spoke about before, because that one, there was an implant put in the fetus before it was even born. And once the child was born, it started recording everything that person would see and hear until their death. And then once they die, they had these people called cutters who would take all that footage and slice it up into different events. And they would do a memoriam where they would sit and watch that edited version of that person's life for about 2 hours at their memorial instead of a funeral. And it was just interesting to me because there's a story that they talk about during the movie where there's this one young lady. They said she was a terror. She was out doing everything under the sun. And the norm is the parents would always wait till a child turned 18 or 21, depending on the situation, to inform them that they have that Zoe implant, is what they call it. And at that point, they felt they were mature enough to know that they had the implant. But for this one young lady, because she was such a terror, drugs, skipping school, doing everything under the sun, when her parents sat her down and told her she had the implant, she realized everything she had done up to that point was going to be viewable, and people would see all the things she's done in her life up to that point. And she immediately changed her life because she knew that everything she did could be reviewed and scrutinized and looked at. Which made me thought about that scripture, that you will know them by their fruit, because the things we do in life really show who we are. The things we do in life dictate how others view us. But the fruit are those things that come out of the things we do. And just thinking about that and thinking of how critical that be. And the whole premise of that movie was, does it change the things you do? Does it edit? And do you start monitoring everything you say and do because of the fact that you have that implant? And it reminds me of our walk as Christians and believers, that we should monitor the things we say and do, because we're supposed to be known by our fruit. So what comes out of us, just like the fruit tree, shows what we are. Because we can't say we're an apple tree and pears come off of our branches. So we can't be an apple tree and have other fruit come out. So if we say we are believers, what comes out of us is our true fruit. And I thought about that, and then the story goes on to say that the girl changed her life. She started doing everything right. And so someone asked her, that means she just wanted to live this great life? And they said no. One day out of the blue, the girl went to the highest building she could find and jumped head first. And the Zoe implant was disintegrated on impact. And you think about it and they wonder, why would she do that? Because even though she changed her life, she knew at some point after she died, people would see the things she did and what she was before she made the change. And how often is it in life where you see folks come to the church, they change their life, but people keep on reminding them of all the things they did before in their past, and how those things still come back to haunt us sometimes. And sometimes it might be other people who won't let it go, and sometimes it's us that won't let those things go. But if you can change your fruit and show that you're someone else, people should accept you for that. Because if there's a tree and you're not sure what it is, but then the fruit sprout, then you know exactly what it is coming out of that tree and what kind of tree it is. But I think it's that whole story just reminds me of how often people can make changes in their lives. And they might be able to change the fruit that comes out. But then there's still people who won't let it go. But then sometimes we might do some things in our lives that bear the wrong fruit. And it's vital. Sometimes you see people who are like, I don't care, I'm going to still be who I am. So they're showing you who their fruit are. And they're not making the necessary changes they should make in life. Some people feel that they should be able to just do whatever they want to do and still call themselves something else. You might have a fig tree that is proclaiming that they're an orange tree. But that reality is what you bear is what you are. And that's something we need to keep in mind. And we can't get upset when people look at us and view us because of our actions. And those things are very prevalent. And something to be mindful of. What comes out of you is what you are. You can't proclaim to be one thing and do other things and then get upset when people don't see you as what you proclaim to be. You shall know them by their fruit. Matthew 7:15. Like I said, this is short. I can't talk about it like I want to because I'm on the highway. Even though the car is doing most of the driving, I still have to pay attention while it drives. So we'll pick this up some more next week. Be blessed. Stay positive and pray for the Goins family as we come together to celebrate Bishop's 80th heavenly birthday today. We'll see you all again soon.